The showdown capped off a bitterly partisan year in Congress. Earlier this week, I sat down with first-term Republican Diane Black and asked her about the continued partisan bickering during the payroll tax debate.
I think people, first of all, have to understand the process, because when you look at what's been going on in Washington over at least the last 3 years, is we have not been following what they call normal rule, or the way that our government was set up. And I laugh and I say maybe we ought to go back and have everybody watch the Schoolhouse Rock of how a bill becomes a law, because they keep calling this a Senate bill. This bill originated in the House. It was a very good bill. It dealt with some very large issues and some common sense solutions. We sent it to the Senate. The Senate took our bill. They stripped off all of our language. They put in their own language with just a temporary 2-month solution, which obviously is not a solution. There's no certainty in 2 months. And they sent it back to the House. We didn't think that was the way to solve these big issues, to find a solution. And so what we're saying is there is a decision you make. When a bill comes back that is your bill from the House, amended from the Senate, you can either reject it or you can accept it. We rejected it, and in that case, you go to a conference committee. We have already named our conferees. We're inviting the Senate, please come back, sit down at the table with us. Let's talk about a solution, something we can both agree on, but let's at least make sure it's for a year and that we give businesses and individuals certainty. This is so important.
This country is some $15 trillion in debt. Serving on the Budget Committee, you were giving me a quick history lesson that I think people would enjoy, that 62% of the budget are entitlements.
Yes.
Kind of hands-off money. You can't tweak that if you wanted to, other than to pass new laws.
That's right. And that's one of my favorite slides in my presentation that I do when I go to town hall meetings. I've done 15 town hall meetings, one in every one of my, is a pie chart to show people what discretionary spending and mandatory, or I call autopilot, because 62% of our budget is on autopilot. Only 38% of it is really what we call discretionary. And that's what we do a budget on every year. The rest of that, the other 68% of that, just grows and grows and grows unless you change the law and the manner in which those programs operate. So it's very important for people to understand the budget process. And frankly, I didn't understand even all of that when I went to Congress. And I learned, obviously, being on the Budget Committee, that we had a daunting job in front of us of how do you balance the budget when you're only really balancing or in charge of, essentially on a year-to-year basis, only 38%.
Representative Diane Black, kind enough to visit with me earlier this week. When we come back,